Welcome to We Learn, Virtual Learning Network. This is session number 16th of the subject The Study of Society, and the chapter is Stateless Societies. Let's see the topics to be covered. Politics and political organizations, political institutions and stateless societies, political principles of stateless society, stateless tribes in India, political institutions and development of society. Politics and political organization. Politics deals with the distribution of power in society. Political institutions refer to certain kinds of social relations which exist within a particular area. The territorial structure provides the framework not only for political organization but for other forms of organization as well. So basically, politics deals with the distribution of power and also the exercise of power in society, and political institutions refer to certain kinds of political relations, social relations which exist within a particular area, and the territorial structure that provides the framework for not only political organization but for other forms of organizations as well. One of the important political institutions in society is the state. So state is one of the important political institutions which is described as a facilitator of various services. It has been described as a human community which successfully claims the monopoly of the legitimate use of force within a given territory. So it has all the rights to exercise force, it has all the rights to exercise authority over people for the welfare of them and for the right way of conducting rights and responsibilities, and for also giving them proper facilities and services. State is different from government in the sense that government is an agency which carries out the orders of the state. So government keeps on changing after a fixed interval of time, but state remains the same, and government follows the orders given by the state. Politics and political organization. In modern complex societies, the police and the army are the instruments by which public order is maintained. Those who offend are punished by law. So police and army, these are the two instruments by which public order and discipline is maintained in the society. And those who offend these things are punished by law. Law is one of the means by which the state carries out its functions of social control. So only through legislation, laws and policies, state carries out its functions of various political, economic and social control in the society. As societies have developed from the simple to modern industrial societies, all other aspects of social organization, even political institutions, have become more complex. So as societies have become into modern industrial societies, the other aspects of social organization, even the political institutions or the other economic institutions, the varied forms of human organizations, they have also become complex because the societies have developed from simple to industrial societies wherein a lot of options are there in front of the people. Political institutions and stateless societies. Simple societies have very low population in comparison to modern societies. There exists a very indeterminate political community in these societies. So basically there is indeterminate political community which exists in these societies, and in all types of stateless societies, simple their organization might be, they generally have an idea of their territorial rights. They know about their territorial rights, they know about their rights and obligations as well as their responsibilities, or however simple the organization might be. These rights are maintained through the notions of age and social sanctions and social control. So these rights are maintained through notions of age, the way exercise of power is there, social sanctions given by the state, as well as the social control done by the state. A society is called stateless if it has no rigid boundary or permanent physical territory, follows oral traditions and the bureaucratic aspect is absent from it, has a single person holding several major powers of religious, economic and political offices within the society. There is no fixed, rigidly spelled out ideology and has simple economy. So a society is stateless when it has no rigid boundary or a permanent physical territory, or when there are no oral traditions and there is no bureaucratic aspect or the normal paperwork aspect, or there is a single person which is holding all the major powers of religious, economic as well as holding the political offices within the society, and there is no fixed, rigidly spelled out ideology that consists in a simple economy. That is why it is known as stateless, where there is no state and there is no rigid boundary and there is no rigid laws and rules over people. Sources of data about stateless societies. There are three sources of knowledge about simple societies without government. It is from these that our information is derived. Archaeological records about stateless societies. So basically archaeological records about how the stateless society has been in the past, how the individuals or how about the human behavior, how they were constructed, how the public order and social control was maintained. Literature produced by missionaries, travelers and administrators. So basically sources of knowledge about simple societies without government could be the literature or the books, handouts given by the missionaries or people who were travelers who used to travel around the globe, as well as the administrators who used to give the information. And monographs written by anthropologists. So written by anthropologists about different places, about different societies and also about human behavior, monographs written by them. These are also the important sources of knowledge about how the simple societies were but without government. But in the present time, the society without the government is not possible. Government is needed to maintain social law, order and discipline in the society. Otherwise, there will be anarchy in the society. So, simple societies without government were provided with the help, the records were provided with the help of archaeological records, literature as well as the monographs. All the records of simple societies show that they have always been involved in a process of change, growth and development. So basically, the process of change, growth and development, the simple societies show that they were in a process of that, where change occurred, growth occurred as well as development occurred in that process. Anthropologists studying stateless societies have also used literature produced by missionaries, travelers and colonial administrators. So, anthropologists studying stateless societies, they've also used literature and produced by missionaries, travelers and colonial administrators for studying the stateless societies and how the stateless societies used to exist in the earlier time. And the stateless societies had a process of change, growth, development and also evolution. So slowly and steadily they were in the process of evolution and growing. Last but not the least are the monographs written by anthropologists on stateless societies. So there were theses, monographs written by anthropologists that how stateless societies structure, what was the structure, composition and how they functioned, what were the merits as well as the demerits of having stateless societies at that time and how the system actually, the whole system worked. Types of stateless societies. First type of societies are those which usually live by hunting and gathering. Second type of society is that which is made up of village communities which are related to one another by various kinship and economic ties. Those who had blood relations, kinship and economic ties, and first who were involved in the process of farming, hunting and gathering. In the third type, the societies have political control vested in age set systems. So basically, societies have political control vested in proper traditional age systems. The fourth type of societies are those in which political functions are performed through groups organized in terms of unilinear descent. So the fourth type of societies were those wherein the political functions were performed through various groups organized in terms of unilinear descent. So they all had their own groups in common. Kinship system as a form of political control. Kinship system plays a very crucial role in the socio-political and economic organization of simple societies. Its functions are extensive and overlapping with functions of the political and economic institutions. It takes up the task of maintaining order and balance in society. The principle of fission or conflict and fusion or cohesion works within the simple societies along the kinship and territorial lines. So basically the principle of fission or conflict and fusion or cohesion works within the simple societies wherein the territorial lines were brought out, and the kinship used to be there, kinship system was there, and also there was conflict and there were also cohesion, there was also unity that worked out. So the task of basically the task of kinship system and simple societies were to basically maintain order, balance in society, and to remove conflicts and other areas which were conflictual. In all stateless societies where the society is segmented or divided into sections, alliances take place along the lines of territory, residence, kinship, descent, heritage, and marriage. So alliances do take place along these particular lines. Conflict leads to cohesion in such societies. The enemy might be a member of one's own lineage or another lineage. So the enemy might be a member of one's own lineage belonging from one's own kinship, tradition, and family. The segmentation of society maintains itself through the presence of actual or potential opposition to one another. There is also conflicts or opposition to one another. This opposition is characteristically expressed in the institution of blood feud in these societies. Political principles of stateless society. Society becomes united when different groups or segments unite. Authority which is delegated or given to a subordinate becomes independent. Mystical symbols also integrate and unify stateless societies. This is because the entire society regards these to be sacred and that which should be protected. So society only becomes united when different groups living in that segments are united. Authority which is also delegated, and also different symbols integrate and unify. Stateless tribes in India. So sociologically speaking, they have their own inner logic of functioning, and to a large extent they still live by it. It should not be assumed that they have not changed with time. In fact, they are increasingly getting modernized and attempts are being made to help them to develop. Political organizations in Indian tribes. So they're based on clan and lineage, village unit, and group of villages. How about the village unit which is there, the group of villages, the clan, the own family, as well as the lineage, the descent. Conflict regulation. The territorial separateness prevents casual conflict occurring with other lineage which are bigger or of a different generation. The tribal village is an active political unit. We find that the way of regulating the village goes downward in authority. Village officer and village administration. So the way the village is regulated, it goes downward in authority. First, the village officer rules, and then the village administration rules the whole village. The political mechanism functions through its officers who are known by different designations in various tribes. So various officers are appointed for looking out in the political mechanism. In minor tribes, Birhor, Juang, all these activities are in the hands of one man. Among major tribes, Santal, Bhil, authorities rested on two headmen. One is for secular and the other is for sacred purposes. Crime and punishment. The evidence that is called for while deciding a criminal case is oath taken on a sacred deity and ordeal undergone by tribal standards. So this is how crime is accepted by a person on a sacred deity and punishment is given to the person. Hunting and food gathering societies can be divided into easy and hard hunters. The easy hunters live almost completely by gathering fruits, vermin, and insects. They live in temporary tenements of branches and leaves. The hard hunters are more evolved and go for larger animals to hunt. So political institutions and development of society, this is pastoral A and pastoral B, easy hunters and hard hunters. First of all, there was hard hunters, then developed early agriculture, then agriculture was developed further, and then they developed top agriculture, and then further development and growth took place. Emergence of simple form of government. There is emergence of government in simple form. Secondly, there is a clear extension of settled government to embrace wider groupings. In the stateless societies, kinship solves disputes. At the highest pastoral and agricultural level, systems of public justice are also established. The function of religion in the simpler societies is twofold. It serves ecological functions by giving men an interpretation of their relationship with nature, and it indicates to them how they should relate with it. Religion also serves social and political functions. It binds men together and gives meaning and legitimacy to authority. So religion also binds a society and gives legitimacy to the authority. So that was all about different functions of agriculture and also how kinship was important at that time. These are some of the questions. Explain what is meant by a stateless society and describe briefly the method of informal control. Questions you have to do it yourself. Thank you. Happy learning. We learning.